Welcome to the Monadnock International Film Festival.
Thank you! Into the groove of things.
And coffee.
This is our second, yeah, I have my coffee. And here we are again from the Monadnock International Film Festival. We're broadcasting here in Keene, New Hampshire, and it's a beautiful weekend. We're in the Local Look Lounge, and we've got a whole 3 days worth of films, music, and entertainment, and talking with filmmakers and industry experts. And Kim Taylor is with us, who is a musician, actress, songwriter. What else do you do, Kim? Is that it?
I cook.
You cook, excellent. She's a cook as well. You were here. You were playing actually in the with some of the music groups that have been playing and the music acts that have been playing. But you're also an actress, which is very cool. And is that something that is fairly new on your plate?
Yeah, it's very new. I did a film called I Used to Be Darker that premiered at Sundance last year and Berlinale internationally, and so I got to do the film circuit last year. So I got lucky because it was my very first film, and there's a lot of music in it as well. I play the part of a musician. My husband and I are musicians that are divorcing, so the film is sort of a dark film about divorce, directed by Matt Porterfield. So.
Your husband in the film, your character in the film.
Yeah, Ned Oldham is played by Ned Oldham.
Nice.
So,
So you're well, what a lot of people might not know is that your music has been in a lot of TV and movies, and talk a little bit about that. How did that start off? You've had songs in Smallville, Justified, Eli Stone, Ghost Whisperer, Flashpoint. I mean the list goes on, and including soap operas and things like that. How did you get started with that?
You know, I got really lucky. I started a few years ago, and I wasn't setting out to have songs placed in television. I was just writing records, writing songs, and we submitted to a few agencies in LA, and so they sort of took on the projects that I was doing and have had luck with them. I feel like the first one was like One Tree Hill or Eli Stone, a few shows that have been canceled along the way, but yeah, and it's once you get in, and you find a music supervisor that likes your stuff. Often that music supervisor is in charge of several shows. So I know the woman that was doing One Tree Hill, she was also doing Ghost Whisperer. So she would sort of use my stuff for multiple things. So it's cool because you sort of build a fan with the music supervisors, and they sort of, continue to listen to your catalog as you keep writing. So that's been really great. So.
And your music is I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's very soulful, very...
dark.
Well, okay, maybe a little dark. But it's a very emotional, it seems like it's pivotal songs about things that are happening. And I can definitely see that music could be perfect for those pivotal scenes in a, like the end of the second act of a TV show or something where something emotional is happening. Is that where generally...
Yeah, like Flashpoint. Flashpoint's a great example of that. Flashpoint is a Canadian show that did really well, sort of what is it, based on like cops, and they would use one major song to close every episode. And I had 7 or 8 placements with them, and they would they play the whole song, and it would sweep through this huge ending that they had, so.
Nice.
Worked really well.
Do you ever in a position where you have to write for a specific episode?
Not
or something?
yet, I'm not really. That's because I live in Cincinnati. I'm not really. That's not something I suppose if someone approached me, I would try to tackle it, but I would definitely think that it's separate from sort of what I do organically, So.
And you have a contract with MTV to do music for whatever they want to use it for, basically?
Yeah, they have access to the catalog to do whatever they want. So Teen Mom or whatever, I'm not sure.
So what inspires you as a songwriter? I guess that's a loaded question, but is it all your personal life experiences?
It's certainly my personal life experiences. But it's also the people around me. I'm inspired by relationships and sort of daily living, that sort of constant wrestling with death and life and love and relationships and getting older and all of those things. That's always been something I've been very thoughtful and sensitive to. Overly sensitive to, so it's nice that I have I've been able to channel it into. So I didn't grow up in an artistic household, so it's nice that I'm able to channel it into an artistic form now because it takes the pressure off. You know, very cathartic. So.
Did you find that when you did your first acting gig, as you know, in the movie? Did you find that it was the same case?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. I felt the main difference for me describing it was as a musician performer on stage, you have sort of this healthy distance with people, you know, where they're down there and you have the lights and it can make you look all, you know, glowy and stuff. But when you're on camera, you don't get that, you know, you don't get that same thing. So you're you're surrounded by a crew of people, and your face, especially your facial expressions, are so important. Everything you have to be really conscious of that. So it took me a little while to get used to that, you know. But I was already used to sort of having people looking at me,
which is
you
good.
know,
yeah.
Which I think is honestly sort of half the battle. If you can just ignore that, you've got 30 people staring at you, waiting on you, then I think you can move forward with it and then just try to be natural, you know.
Did you jump in with acting lessons or anything, or did you just jump right in and start doing
I
it?
just jumped right in, yeah. I was auditioned at a show. The director, Matt Porterfield, came to one of my shows and then sort of saw how I was on stage, and then we had a, you know, dinner that night. So it was the beginning of it.
I saw your performance yesterday, and you tested out or debuted 2 songs, sort of testing things out. How did that go? I mean, I thought they were great. I think the audience thought they were great, but do you do this often where you come up with something and you just decide to sneak it out and find out how it goes?
Yeah, and I'm working on a duet project with a songwriter named Todd Thibault, and so we're gonna. Todd tours Germany a lot, and I just started doing my first European tours, and so we're gonna combine forces and get back over there more. He tours 2 or 3 times a year in Europe. I like messing up on stage because I feel like I've been doing it for so long. I have so many songs that I can just, you know, push out. So it's nice when I feel like I'm being tested, you know, in front of an audience. That's where I'm at with it now. Like early on, I would never have done it, but now it's nice to feel like I'm going to take a little bit of a risk, and you know, if I hit a wrong note or whatever. So, and you gotta. I feel like you gotta work. It's like a comedic act. You gotta work it out on stage.
Yep.
It's totally different from rehearsing, you know. So.
You have a CD called Love is a Dog, and I love the title of that. What was the inspiration behind that? Do you have a dog? Or you?
I have 4 rescue dogs, so definitely my dogs are certainly were an inspiration for the title track, the song Love's a Dog. But I got the idea several years ago. I'm a big Charles Bukowski fan, poet Charles Bukowski, and he has a poem called Love is a Dog from Hell, and so it was sort of a twist on that.
Nice. So what's coming up next? You have the tour, you have the new CD that you're working on. Are you going to do more acting?
Well, I you know, after Darker, I sort of secured an official agent, and so she's been getting me little, you know, she's gotten me one little tiny thing. So I got to do, Steve Soderbergh has this new series called The Nick, and I got to go last December, and I played the part of a nun, which was very cool.
Nice.
And that's like a whole different world. It's, you know, the indie world, and then there's the SAG world, and it was a really good experience to be there and to really see what it was like. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, thank you so much for coming down, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you.
We're really glad you're here.
Thank you very much.